The Fantasy Skirmisher.
In the aftermath of a devastating war with the Witch King, Rangers pursue their mission of watching over the inhabitants of the former empire, exploring the wilderness, uniting communities, fighting monsters, and recovering the Emperor's treasures so that one day hope may be born anew. Published in 2021 by Studio H, Oltree is a cooperative game where you are one of those Rangers. The game was designed by Antoine Baza and based on a French role-playing game. The art is by Vincent Dutray and a team of very talented illustrators. For my birthday, I got a chance to play this with my family at a board game cafe in New York City's Upper East Side. The last time we played a board game together was pandemic during the lockdown in the spring of 2020. So I guess you could call them non-gamers. I'll share their post-game reaction after I give a quick description of the game. Each round, players will take turns doing two phases, determining the adversity and then taking two actions. So in the adversity phase, the player will roll a die to determine where the marker moves along the track. So we rolled a 1 pip. There's also not move at all or move 2 spaces. There we go. So we're going to move along the track right here. And so this is the incident deck right here. And so what we would do is we would roll a location die, determine where the card is placed. And we rolled an 8. So we take the card, and there's 8 regions on the board, and it is right here, region 8. So we place it face down on the rumor side. It says strange fruit. And so now this location is perilous because you can't have more than 4 cards on the space. And during setup, we have 3 incidence cards on the space. So what I need to do is find a perilous marker. So I take the shield, turn it around. This is perilous. So if we landed on this space again, the first thing we would do for each perilous space is we would lose 1 prestige on the track. If we get to 0 on the prestige track, we lose the game. On the defense track right here, if we get to 0, we lose the game. All right, so that is it for the incident phase. Now let's just talk about the rest, okay? So if we landed here, what we do is we would turn the page and on the Chronicles and then just follow the instructions and of course, read the story part because it moves the story forward. And we already talked about the incidents. These right here are problems. So if we landed on a problem, what we do is we would roll the die, rolled it 2, and we would put this card in its space. Now what problem cards do is they block the ability for us to collect resources until the problem is resolved. And then finally, if we move to the event section, we pull an event card, we read it. It could be an immediate one-time effect, or it could stay in play until it's covered up again by another event. So here we have flooding. A building is damaged. Place a damage token on it to identify it. Okay, so we would take a damage token, and when we place something on a damage token, we don't get the ability, meaning we don't get that dice for that type of test, which we will talk about. And so there it is. And that would be all the areas on the incident deck. Now the player will perform 2 different actions, one of which is move. And simply you would just move 1 to 1 adjacent space. And the fort is adjacent to all different 8 regions. And so therefore you could just move here or from a region to the adjacent region, so on and so forth. Another action a ranger could take is called rest. And you'd gain 1 health and also 1 provision. And each ranger starts with a provision which can be used to re-roll a die, or you could spend 2 provisions to take another action. So those could really come in handy. The next action is call on a community. And this could only be done in the regions. And so let's just say I had moved, and if I moved to region 3, and I call on the community, I can collect the resource that is available to me. So in this case, plant or wood, or which represents these type of different things. Now, let's just say I was at region 2. I could not call on the community because this problem card blocks my ability to get this resource here. So if I move to region 3 to collect the resource, any resources collected go in the fort in the middle here. All resources are community property, so any player could use the resources they need to be able to complete the actions they want to take. And the other action is we could handle a problem. So if we move to region 2, and our second action, we could handle this problem, and we resolve whatever it is. And sometimes it takes more than one success to be able to handle the problem, and successes are marked by these white cubes, and you could take more than one action to try to resolve a problem. Another action, which you do in the regions, is experience an incident. So if Selena had moved to region 8 here, well, she could try to resolve this incident, experience it, so that way this region is not in peril. We want to remove peril tokens because if the marker lands on the incident space again, the first thing we do is that we lose 1 prestige for every perilous token on it. There are 3 actions that could be taken within the fortress. One is build a building. So off to the side of the map, you're going to have a stack of buildings that could be built, and these help you out during play. So here in this building, the inn, we get +1 prestige, and we get another traveling type of dice. So now we would be rolling 2 traveling dice if we had that type of challenge. The other thing we can do is we can repair a building so that way it could be used again. We could also build a tower. So the towers come in 2 flavors. So you've got a keep and a regular tower, and on the back it shows the costs and potentially any benefits here. 1 defense for the keep. And if you build these, you notice the towers are destroyed, right? If you clear an area of all the incident cards, the way to keep it cleared is build a tower on it of either type. And when you do that, that is safe, it's free and clear, and no more incident cards will come up on there. Some rangers have ranger-specific actions that they could use as a bonus. For example, Tamira's here can perform a bonus action, which is move to the fortress. So that could be very helpful depending on what she needs to do to ensure that things just don't backslide and you start losing the game. Temporary actions can come into the game through the chronicle cards. As you're turning the pages, something may come up that you could do until otherwise specified, and things like that. Now let's just talk about interacting with some of these cards. So the incident cards, let's just say that Lars here moved here, and what he wants to do for his second action is to experience an incident. So the rumor side gives you an idea of what the card is about, and the Lars player would hand this to the player to his or her right, and then the person would read the flavor text here. At the foot of a hill, you come across the decaying remains of an imperial statue. You brush away the moss covering the relief that's still partially legible. And then you need to take a test based on the craftsperson logo here. Now, Lars, that is his specialty, so he'd get 1 die for the challenge. Also, the fort gives a die, because all the logos are on the map here. And then that is it. So he would get 2 dice. And you need to roll 1 success. And if it's success, you read the flavor text. If it's a fail, the person would read that. And so I failed. Now what I could do is spend my provision, and re-roll. And still a fail. So that person to the right would read the failure of text and let me know what happened. So it just adds that little bit of a role-playing element. Let's take a look at a different type of card here. So that is doing a test based on one of the professions. And yeah, here's another one here. Some are more than just taking a test that way. You need to make a choice, just a simple choice. And it could be, do you choose to do this or do you choose to do that? And then based on that decision, the person reads what happens. And so sometimes, it's kind of like the old lone wolf books. You got to make that choice and go to whatever that page is. So it has that kind of feel to it, which is kind of cool. Now, play keeps happening until you either win or you lose. You win again if you get to the end of your chronicle and you win whatever that test is or the win condition is. If you don't make that, then you lose. You also lose if your prestige goes down to 0 or if the tower defense goes down to 0 as well. So that's something you need to keep an eye on as far as building this up. If your prestige gets all the way to the top, you don't get more prestige, you get a treasure token. And that could help you solve problems, things like that. And also, if your defense is really strong and you can't go any higher than that, then you can start removing prestige cards. And that is how you play Oltree. Oh. How do you like the game?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
What did you like about it? Anything that stands out to
I
you?
like the storytelling aspect of it.
The storytelling aspect of it. And how about you?
I liked the artwork.
The art? So it just helps with the immersion? So, yeah, no, it's one of the most gorgeous games I've seen. The artwork is incredible. So, but did you have fun? That's the important thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And would you play it again?
Yes.
Got 2 yeses. All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.